So here at the University Library is at the University Mall. So most students from the Science Center would walk over here and use the facility here to study. So here in the library, let's go down. So here's the learning garden. And here they open 24 hours a day. For the graduate students, they come to the periodic sections. There are more study areas and the reference section. On the floor, there are books here and also study area for students to study. The more study area for individual use with computers. There are also study areas for small group discussions inside the library. So we get up from the library. It's alongside the University Mall. We can see the Chinese Culture Institute, Arts Gallery on the right hand side, and then left hand side the IT section and the Science Center. Here we go. So on the right hand side is the Computing Center. So we have two laboratories for teaching environmental chemistry. Here is one of them. And here's the environmental science program. And there's another one for the instruments. These are the analytical instruments, including HPLCs, electrophoresis, some older machines for teachings, and also some new machines, like for example this one, GCMS, also for research and teaching. And also the ICP. Spectrometer. And a chemical hood for processing of environmental samples. The program is in the School of Life Sciences, and there are several teaching laboratories that the students will be engaged in here. Let's take a look. So here's one of them. All labs are equipped with standard equipment, and for example, like this one, they are expandable, so that more than 80 students could be engaged here in doing different kinds of experiments. And these are mainly for biochemistry and molecular biology experiments. Okay. Students are also able to be engaged in different research labs, like individual research lab like this one. So that is my lab. We also have common facilities. And for cell cultures. Common facilities including aquatic toxicology and this is a licensed lab to handle toxic chemicals, and also like other facility including transgenic fish culture lab. And all these labs, they have tight control of temperature and relative humidity. Of course, the light cycle control mainly for fish culture of tropical fish species. So let's go in to one of these labs. So these are benches for experiments and fish holding. So inside there are tanks for experiments and also for fish holding. And since this is a toxicology lab, so they are hoods specially designed for handling toxic chemicals. 開始。
好，呢度係環境化學研究實驗室，咁好多謝你哋參觀。
Okay, let's go in.
好，要有張卡先，咁可以 cut 佢啦。
Very tight security. So, chemistry lab.
係啦，我哋喺呢度做啲 nano materials 主要都係做 catalysis 包括啲 for energy conversion 咁樣。
This is for
for photochemical reactions.
Okay. So in photochemical reactions, and you have this ultra fast system. spectrometer,
基本嘅
instruments. And also okay.
係嘛？學生嘅使唔使 office？
Of some office, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And the students,
Students and
Student
postdoctoral
corner.
fellows。啊，
okay.
咁啊呢度佢哋坐嘅地方咧，
Yeah.
同實驗室就比較安全咁樣隔開。啊
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy. Okay, the last stop here is at the Marine Science Lab, the Simon F.S. Lee building, alongside the Polo Harbor, and also very close to the Science Park and right next to campus. So there are outside tanks and inside facilities. The outdoor tanks, some are temperature controlled even outside, mainly for coral research. And also there are larger tanks for different kinds of fish culture and experiments. And of course the most important thing is about the field study facility we have. Let's take a look at the boat that they have at the Marine Science Research Lab. Okay, so these are the boats that they have with outboard engines. And these two vessels are mainly for outings and diving teams and also different research teams rely on this facility to go out to the Tolo Harbor, even to Dongpingzhou, and also even more far away from the Marine Science Research Lab. Okay, let's start.
Let's see.
Now we are here in Professor Joseph Lee's laboratory, so he's Professor Lee.
Hi everyone. My lab here actually works on mainly the ecology at the ecosystem level of coastal wetlands.
Okay.
These are places like mangroves and submarshes and seagrass beds. And we have been focusing on Hong Kong local habitats as well as regional environments like those in Southeast Asia and Australia and so on. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is my lab here, and we have a lot of lab and field work going on at any one time, and people processing samples that we have collected from the field for stable isotope analysis in particular. This is for a large ECF project looking at the energy basis for soft-shore organisms, particularly those with commercial interest in Hong Kong.
Okay. Any special equipments?
Yes, we do
You
have.
have,
This is actually our newest addition.
Wow, there's a curtain. Open the
We
curtain.
like to protect this.
Okay.
And this is a Picaro cavity ring down spectrometer, which actually would measure the concentration as well as the stable isotope composition of common greenhouse gases like CO2 and methane, without having very frequent needs for calibration and instability of the equipment. This is actually a much faster and cheaper way of measuring stable isotopes of carbon. And so we are using this for a lot of measurements on the food web analysis that we're
Okay.
conducting.
Okay, so this is
Now this is actually
for field studies, right?
for some coral work of another researcher. in a group, but looking at the recolonization of habitats by coral polyps in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Professor Lee. Okay, now we move on to the other labs. So here is at the Marine Science Research Lab, named after Mr. Simon Evers Lee. And this facility accommodates 4 to 5 PIs. They mainly work on marine habitats. And you can see that in Hkiqep, the Marine Science Lab is perfectly located at the shore of the Tolong Harbor, enabling us to study different marine communities from coral to mangrove and seaweeds as well.